All right, so
did I miss anybody? Did we miss anybody? What you thinking over there about what's in the West?
To me, like it's going to be like the storylines, in my opinion, when these finals are over, and I can't wait for these finals. They're going to be fun. But what do the Lakers do? Because Bron and Luka together, that's no one really is like they always thought that was a long-term play.
Do you take care of Austin Reeves? Do you bring him? You pay
Austin
him?
Reeves,
Bring him back?
Yeah, they got him under contract for peanuts right now.
Yeah, but is he free this summer or restricted or something?
I don't think so. I think he's got one more year left. I think he signed a 3-year deal 2 years ago, maybe. Oh, he signed a 3-year 40. They stole him.
Okay.
But they're a big guy away from being 4-year 53. Yeah. So
when is it? So it's up when?
Yeah, 2 more years left.
2 more years? Okay.
Yeah.
So
and they got it for peanuts. Think about what they're paying that dude right now. That's why they compete right now.
Yeah.
Because your third best player arguably is getting paid that in this day and age. Jeez. Yeah. But they're like we just talked about. So that's a storyline.
I mean, their wing is probably their strength. I mean, their wing defenders.
Dorian Finney-Smith's free agent though.
Oh,
yeah, he's a free agent, I think.
Because I love those. I love those wing guys.
And he's a Gator.
Yeah, I love those wing guys. They got some dogs on that wing.
That's gonna be a storyline for me. OKC, what they do with Chet and Jalen Williams this summer on the extended will be a storyline.
What they better do.
I know, but it's a lot though. It's a lot though.
Killer, listen.
I know.
Let me tell you something. I host the OG shirtless if they don't pay them boys.
Well, they're gonna. I mean, I think they will, but you got to max them both out.
I'd host this show shirtless if they let Chet and J Dub walk.
They're not gonna walk because they'll be restricted free agents. They're extension eligible.
I'll host shirtless if
they
don't pay them.
That'll be a good one though. This draft coming up will impact games. Dallas getting the #1 pick impacts.
Dallas getting Cooper Flag. Basically.
That impacts getting them healthy. Like we can't really have a real conversation. Like, listen, it was easy to kill. It was easy to kill Dallas.
Yeah.
And kill him from the trade. Yeah. And trading young Luka. But we haven't really been able to see what Dallas had because Kyrie goes down.
Yeah.
But Kyrie healthy.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Anthony Davis coming back.
Yes. We don't know.
#1 pick in the draft.
Yes.
All
we
of a
don't know what that
sudden,
looks
Dallas.
like.
Well,
we don't know what that looks like.
Okay. And you got all Derek Live. You got all those bigs over there. That's an interesting one.
If I'm Dallas, you maybe not the first pick, but I think you still look to make some moves out in the market.
Yeah, of course.
See if you shake something up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Obviously, you're gonna bring in Cooper Flag. But this was a conversation that we had a couple weeks ago. Do you keep the first pick and bring in Cooper Flag, or do you move the first pick and see if you can get something like a Giannis or something like that?
I mean, listen.
This was just barbershop talk.
Yeah, no, it's great barbershop talk though. It's because of Giannis coming out and the timing that he did come out and say that he'd entertain trade conversations. Mm. Like if you're Dallas, you have to explore it. If you're San Antonio, you have to explore it. Yeah. If you're Houston, you have to explore it.
Yes.
Right? And quite frankly, if you're Milwaukee, you have to explore it.
Yes.
Because right now your Dame Lillard's obviously out for next year. Yes. You've financially been. Listen, I give John Horst a lot of credit, the GM over there. He's really been aggressive in trying to build that team every year to help Giannis.
Yeah.
But now with Dame being down, you really don't have any players to help Giannis. Like it wasn't good enough. You saw it. The last 2 years they got beat in the first round.
Yeah.
So he's got 2 years left on his deal. It might be time to reset it. And if you can trade it to one of the Houstons or one of these that can give you 3 really good young players and some draft capital in return, if you're Milwaukee, you have to explore that too. Yeah. So at the end of the day, once the finals are over, it's going to be all Giannis talk. Yeah. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
And then it'll be KD talk, of course. Yeah. Yeah. But it's going to be Giannis. And those are going to be the storylines, and it's going to be interesting to see where that happens if it happens. You know what I mean? Like
no, I was one of the people that kind of was in agreement with that move, and I looked at it and I said, okay, what, Giannis 30? Mm-hmm. That's basically in your prime.
Yeah,
it's basically in his prime, and I understand, as great as Cooper Flag has the ability to be, we know what Giannis is.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So if people was like, yeah, man, they run Nico ass out of town. If they ain't run him out of town for trading Luka,
if you bring Giannis
and you bring Giannis in. Yeah, ain't nobody saying nothing.
No. The only way they run you out of town if they bring Giannis in if it doesn't work, and it works, it is really, really bad. I just don't see how it can go bad.
Yeah.
I mean, could you imagine defensively those guys, bro?
Man. Then you might bring back Vintage Clay with that one. Clay be like, boy, sign me up, coach.
The other storyline that's gonna be interesting, man, is a question that we're gonna talk about in here is like the super team stuff, because you look at the two teams like right now, obviously OKC kind of is gonna be qualified as one because if they max out these two guys.
Yes.
But then you look at the flip side of it in Indiana, you got to guard all 8 guys. You know what I mean? Like it's a awesome brand of basketball.
I've been on that, bro. The last couple of years we went to the championship with the Miami Heat. We weren't a super team. We just had a couple stars and the rest of the guys with chips on their shoulder and hell of a coach. And the power of friendship. You know what I'm saying? Like we talked about the brotherhood, the connection. You know, like I said, the guys that needed something to prove, and you know that situation like that. And that's always been my MO and recipe. You know what I'm saying? Yes, I've been on the teams what they call super teams where we had the 3 max players. But at the end of the day, it wasn't because of those 3 max players that we got to the finals. As great as they were basketball players, it was because of the power of the connection. You was on those teams, Killer. You know how much time we spent together off the basketball court.
No doubt.
You know the kind of relationships that we had with each other. You know how important it was for us to have each other's back and perform well for the other guy because we know those guys were dependent on us. So even though they were the big 3, we took our little 12 role serious as you know what I'm saying? Because we knew how important we were to that team. So, you know, I've always bought into the power of connection. You know what I'm saying? I've always bought into, the power of relationships and friendships and how that drives you to be your best version and play together and play the right way. And you know how important it is to be able to enjoy somebody else's success. You know how important that is, bro. So as much as the super teams have been appreciated, that shit don't guarantee nothing.
No.
It guarantees nothing. And we can look at the Phoenix Suns.
Yeah, I agree.
And we can look at those 3 guys. There's one guy in every locker room that you cannot get rid of.
Right.
Because if you do, that shit will fall and go to shit. And that takes nothing away from the coaches. But the coaches don't run the teams of the locker room. There's one guy in every locker room. So those kind of guys, those kind of locker rooms, those kind of situations, I've always been a fan of those situations winning at the end of the day.
There's one other storyline before we get into the finals talk that I really think is going to be awesome too. And if I was an NBA GM, what I would be doing, and I'd be trying to poach, I'd be doing what I'd be eyeballing and staring down the Boston Celtics roster right now. The Drew Holidays, the Derek Whites, and then even I'd look at OKC like the Carusos. Those type of dudes are so valuable to your team.
Yes.
And I think if you look at Boston's roster and where like I said, the Tatum stuff, like those guys are all going to be in conversations, whether they like it or not.
Yeah,
and you can start getting the Derek Whites or the Drew Holidays or those guys are like that Caruso piece. We talked about it before the season even started. How much we like that Caruso piece.
Yes, we talked about it. I mean, those are the guys that kill you, man.
That's what I'm saying. And there's it's going to see like this. You know how this NBA team is like anything else, man. Like it's monkey see, monkey do, man.
Yes.
Right. And so you're going to start looking at how good defensively and how those guys are. OKC is like that's the same thing Boston kind of had too, bro.
Yes.
But no one talked about it because it was kind of there. It's the same deal, man. The guards defensively make shots, but like it's gonna be interesting. Like those guys are like the Nemharts of the world.
Yes.
Like I love that. Like, is he ready to take that next level? And then someone goes and gets like those are the kind of guys I'd be eyeballing because those additions to any team right now, because like I told you, the parity in the East especially is gonna be super interesting, man. Intriguing storylines this summer.
Yeah, and those are winning basketball players, and I know this is kind of off topic, but. I was just thinking back to, situations where when Bronny was going through his draft process and, a lot of times conversations would come up and Bronny would say Derek White, Drew Holiday, because you know that these are winning basketball players and you cannot win without these kind of guys on your roster.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? These are the one guys that they talk about that you can't remove. These are the guys that keep it all together. These are the glue guys. These are the guys who I took pride in being one of those kind of guys. So, for me, a team would love to have those kind of guys. You know what I'm saying? And can't really get into the free agency part of it, obviously, exactly where, what, who, where, why, whatever. So we don't know what Boston's going to do or what they can't do.
Yeah, no, it's like if I'm what I'm saying is if I'm teams, because it leads me to our finals conversations, because I think at the beginning of the season, yeah, OKC would have been on people's topics of minds. Indiana probably not. So no one really saw these finals coming. It's small pieces here and there, and with the parity, and we're again, we don't want to talk the financial stuff too much, but it is like the financial aprons. Is Boston, because of what happened to Tatum, is now going to be a conversation of, okay, I can make my team better with those guys. Doesn't mean they're going to trade them, but you can get aggressive with those guys because Boston's got to make some decisions.
Yeah.
Are we gonna go all in and try to win a championship with Jaylen Brown, with Tatum being out, and keep this payroll high, or are we going to kind of reset, get a high draft pick? You know what I mean? Even Jaylen Brown's probably going to be in a conversation. Let's be honest. Doesn't mean they're going to.
They got some decisions.
Exactly right. But that's what those storylines though are because of this finals, and because of what the East looked like this year, and you know basically what the West is really kind of forming out to be is like we're a piece away from having a chance now. Parity is becoming a thing now. Yeah. And it's interesting to see, and that's why these finals are going to be good.
Double down on comfort and elevate your essentials this playoff season with distractionless underwear from Tommy John. It's the breathable, sweat-fighting foundation with 4 times more stretch than competing brands. Keep your head in the game and out of your pants with Tommy John. Man, playoffs got everybody uptight right now. Me, staying calm and cool with my Tommy Johns. Tommy John keeps me comfortable, confident, and cool at all times of the day. So ditch them tight, uncomfortable wedgie huggers that you've been wearing. Get you some Tommy John. Double down on comfort with Tommy John and get 25% off your first order right now at TommyJohn.com/OGs with promo code OGs. Again, that's 25% off at TommyJohn.com/OGs.
Basketball fans, the NBA Finals are here. The stage is set. The stakes are sky high, and every shot could be the difference between glory and heartbreak. There's still time to get in on the action with my partners at DraftKings Sportsbook. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll take home $300 in bonus bets. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and sign up using my promo code OGs. The crown is yours. Love the thrill of live betting? DraftKings has got you covered. Bet live on in-progress games right here as they happen. Make watching the game that much more exciting. If sports betting is not available in your state, don't worry. You can still join in on all the fun with DraftKings Pick 6 and have the shot to win cash prizes. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. New customers use my promo code OGs and bet just $5 on any wager and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's promo code OGs only at DraftKings Sportsbook.